Hi kids, it's me, Very Nice, and I hope that this is the last part of our K9 show review. If it's not, well then that will be pretty bad because...
yeah, we'll get a bit dragged out.
Yeah, hopefully this can be our last part, so that's why we're not going to waste much time with this. We're going right into the description and talking about one of the worst episodes of the whole show. The last episode.
And this is the
show.
last episode we have to talk about, then we'll get into some other stuff.
Okay, let's get to it then.
Thankfully, this is the last episode of the show, and you might think it's the last one. Oh, it's just gonna be like a easy thing to get through. It's gonna be easy. No, the last episode of the K9 show is one of the worst, definitely, for a lot of reasons.
So, it is revealed in this episode that, oh boy, the second villain, oh, surprise, he's an alien.
Would have never guessed.
And so, he's trying to open the special portal using the power of, like, K9's regeneration pack.
He was? I didn't catch that, but...
I think he was. And it's causing, like, the time machine to go crazy.
Or whatever.
And so that's how they figure out about it, that the time machine's going crazy, and then they know, oh no, something wrong is happening.
And, like, the villain, he is...
He's trying to open a portal.
He's in these, like, random, like, weird
Yeah.
locations. Sometimes it's, like, big open room. And then this episode is the episode where they finally get more Robo-Men costumes.
They finally get more
It takes
extras.
them to the last episode of the entire show to finally get more costumes and extras. That's bad. That's just really bad.
And the robo-persons, literally, never explains why. He never says if, like, the villain has control of them or not. They just turn evil. They just start, like, grabbing, like, all the official, like, government people.
And taking them away. We also never get to figure out what happens with the Robo-Men and those people because it never says if they, like, turn good or anything. We literally never, ever says.
So the villain is trying to open a portal to bring through these aliens.
Big whoop. The alien from the third episode is, like, the alien race. It's, like, the villains in the final episodes of the show. No, like, child viewer at home would remember that from, like, the third episode all the way to the last. Like, they can't expect people to actually remember that. I mean, we did because we watched them all in, like, a month, but, like...
Yeah. And so, of course, the villain captures K9, and the girl and the boy go to save him. And, like, that doesn't go very well.
No, and, like, then they have to
They almost kiss, but, like...
That
doesn't
don't
happen,
worry,
don't worry.
They don't worry.
And so, like, the older boy...
Like, there's supposed to be some romance between the two of them, but there wasn't. Like, that never came up until now. The real romance, we'll get to that later. And...
like, the older boy has to go and rescue the woman, because, like, the woman...
yeah, the woman...
she sent, like, to do paperwork.
yeah, the woman and the older boy do nothing in the climax. They're just, like, at the house the whole time.
Yeah, they literally do nothing.
The man, he has to get there to, like, save the day. But he doesn't, he has, like, an illness where he doesn't like going outside. So he has to, like, run all the way there and conquer his fears. You know what's stupid? Remember how they have that self-driving talking car? Why doesn't he just get in that, drive the self-driving talking car to where the villain is, and save the day?
I think, like, the older boy may have taken it.
Oh.
Because it's, like, it's his car, but then again, why didn't, like, the older boy drop them all off at certain areas? And then, like,
knows?
how does... it just doesn't make sense. Like, so the villain has this, like, monster that he's created?
It never explains why.
I think, like, he has it to stop the aliens
But
from coming
he's on the
through,
same side as the aliens. And
but he's working with them,
then
so it's not really well
the
explained.
portal gets, like, destroyed or whatever.
like,
and everyone,
they'll save
the
day.
villains are killed. The villain gets crushed by, like, the body of
That's
the
like the
monster
one
on
on-screen death.
And
of
actually,
this whole
we
show.
didn't get to see it.
Oh, yeah,
It didn't show him actually getting crushed. Unfortunately, the only one good villain of the whole show got...
Hey, what about, like, the first
yeah, they were good. They were, like, the only good people in this whole thing. And then there's the ending, and boy, is it bad. K9 dies. Of course, he doesn't... No one can die.
Like, everyone thinks he's gonna die.
Of course, it's so obvious that he's not going to. And then randomly, his regeneration thing, like, materializes in the boy's hands.
Because it's supposed to, like, return to the source.
And then the girl turns and says this.
Such.
Yeah, so
That doesn't make... That's just weird for many reasons.
Their generation things like disappears. They think, search the house, it'll be here.
What does the girl do? She doesn't say, we need to start searching, let's start searching. She just says, search! You don't just yell, search to people. That's just like, that's just a combination of bad writing and
like,
Bad
she says
fun.
it so like, like she doesn't like yell it like sit or set. It's like a set. Like she adds this like in there like,
To
for
it.
some reason. Like
And
K9 regenerates into the thing you're looking at right now.
he
Like,
doesn't even look different.
that thing. Like
Like,
he looks a tiny bit different. Like a scarf, the ears are a bit more pointy. There's like a little like new keypad button
And
in the
of
back
course-
of him. Like that's it.
it ends with him like flying at the screen. I hate endings when people look with something flies at the screen.
endings. They're just so.
So now we've gotten through the last episode of the show. We have a particular little boy we have to tell you about named Marcus. Marcus is this boy who shows up in for only one episode, the mutant copper.
Oh no. Marcus is like this troublemaker kid. He's kind of like a rebel like these kids, but like he's different.
The first second I saw Marcus, my heart nearly skipped a beat. Because I thought, oh no. There's gonna
New character.
There's gonna be another new character. He's gonna stick around forever. Gonna be another new kid. Thankfully, he's only in one episode.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
thankful
the
for that.
Lord.
So Marcus he's just there. And well, the thing is about Marcus is whenever there's a big group scene with all these different characters, it's
He
always
doesn't do shit.
Marcus never speaks. It's only the other characters ever
Like
speak.
he really doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
Pardon
Only
my
one-
French.
And only like his first scene does he ever speak.
Like his last scene.
Yeah.
We've got to start wondering if they're just too dumb to be dangerous.
Oh, Starkey, this is my fellow agitator for freedom, Marcus.
That was pretty cool. Hey, I used to be known as Stark Reality. You probably heard of me.
Only what JJ's told me.
I'm sorry, you mean Georgie?
Yeah. G, JJ.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
So then Marcus, of course, turns out to be like a spy for the villain.
He
of it.
betrays them.
Big whoop. Marcus betrays the children. And so what is
Because the villain's trying to find the mutant copper. He's like a half Robopop cop, half human being, and because like that's bad, the villain has to find it. Because if the villain doesn't find him, the villain will get in big trouble. But so the villain made this deal with Marcus, and of course, Marcus can't really fulfill that deal. But
Yeah, so the children, they turn Marcus. First Marcus betrays the children. So what do? They trick the villain and lie to him that Marcus is like betrayed him or isn't working with him. Is like this big process,
he like
whatever.
tricked them. Like the children make it up to seem like Marcus tricked you, and to the villain, I don't know what they do to Marcus.
He just-
the scene changes. Like
Most likely he gets taken away and like punished severely. So the K9 show teaches you great messages like if somebody betrays you, what do? Betray them, but make it 1,000 times worse, and make sure their punishment is 1,000 times worse than what yours will do.
Yep. Great lessons for great people.
Yeah.
You seem to forget. I have a witness.
Good one.
What?
He's had you on. It's his way of being subversive.
Yeah. Just can't help himself. Making a fool of the department is what he does.
No, it's not. I want my reward.
Making a fool of them and getting paid for it.
Birdie was here.
Birdie?
That's the cyborg's name.
Birdie.
Well, he's not here now. So unless you can tell me where he's gone...
I don't know. But he was here. Tell him, JJ.
I'm not telling him anything. And the name's Georgie.
So now that we got through Marcus, we have to tell you about one of the biggest problems, the issues, with this show. And it is the
relationship between the main boy and K9.
It goes farther. There's like, oh, a boy and his dog. It's worse than that. If you look closely, it gets weird.
Let's get right into it. So, throughout the show, the boy and K9 definitely act different around each other than they do around any other character.
So it's the show tries to pull this trick that the boy and the girl are in a relationship. Like, remember in the last episode
When they go to kiss?
Yeah.
That's no hint of a relationship with them. It's like ever mentioned until that point. And the funny thing
It's like sort of built up in like one or two episodes, but not
like,
much.
And then guess what? Speaking of the last episode, after that like romance scene with him and the girl, they never come back to that. He never acts romantic around her again. In fact, he's actually even more like upset and like romantically inclined when like the K9's like death or whatever. Like
throughout the show, he acts very weirdly and differently around K9.
Somewhat timid, maybe. Like he's always like stroking him off, like when he's like at the corner of the screen.
Like he acts not like master and pet, more like boyfriend
and boyfriend. Like
it's really weird.
It's especially pushed in the one episode where the original villain, he creates this duplicate of K9.
Yeah.
To act like he killed him, whatever, yada yada yada. Which also raised the point that the second villain wanted K9's regeneration energy. Why couldn't he just make a second K9 like the first villain could? But anyway, on to the real point of the matter is K9. Oh, by the way, this episode's plot is pretty much a repeat of the Bounty Hunter. But on to the real thing is, the K9's going to have to like turn himself in or get taken away, or whatever. And everyone's always talking about how like sad the boy will be, or like how depressed he'll be, or how much he's like a grown an attachment to K9, or how much he cares about him. Like
it's just so shoved in your face, but like they're never going to confirm anything. And I know this wasn't done on purpose, but it really seems like they're gay.
They also sleep in the same bed together, which is also weird. Yeah, because that, but also because he is a robot. K9 is a metal robot. How could you position yourself in the bed with him? What would happen if K9 were like to fall over in the middle of the night? What if you fell off? Then K9 just came tumbling down on top of you. You'd be gone.
Painful.
Like, it's pretty much the equivalent of like sleeping with a cinder block.
Yeah.
The one episode he like puts the blankets over him. He doesn't need blankets. He's a robot. It's not like he like get cold or anything.
Well, I actually think the only reason they put the blankets over him was to help to amplify the toilet humor joke that came after that.
Probably. And then, later on, the boy and there's this, the furthest before this, the girl confesses her love for the boy, the older boy, when she's like, oh, and like the thing is falling on her and she's screaming and crying. Yeah. And then like the next episode, what was the next episode, which is the last oak tree in England. In the end of the episode, she like pretty much like turns to the boy and is like, oh, wow, I really like you, or I love you. And the boy literally basically shrugs, turns to K9 and like is like, oh, K9, I like you more. Like pretty literally.
It's that bad.
Not much of a family, but it'll have to do, yeah?
Yes, it will, young master.
And then going back to like when K9's death sequence, he lives. Like the kid's like crying, like, oh, he refers to K9 as his best friend. Sure. But like also he puts like his like jacket over K9. What a grave. Like they're just gonna leave him there. They're gonna like throw him to the scrapyard or something.
I think it's time to move on, don't you?
Agreed. We've got to talk about what's next for the K9 show and Bob Baker's hysterics.
So now we have to talk about something.
A problem that has to be addressed. You might think, woo, we got through the K9 show, it's over.
You're wrong.
Yeah. Bob Baker, remember him from the first part? Who owns the rights to the K9 character?
He is an ambitious little critter who doesn't know when to quit.
He wants to make, I kid you not, a K9 movie and possibly another K9 show.
Kill me, please.
Let's talk about this a bit.
So, this K9 movie was announced quite a few years ago and was supposed to make its debut in theaters, literally in theaters, in 2017.
Well, that never happened.
Yes. We've looked on websites and places on what's happened to the K9 movie. What's going on? Every single place gives me different information and tells us different things.
We have no definite answer.
And it's even harder for us to figure out because, well, we live in America, not in, like, Britain or Australia. Oh, he's also making it with Australians again. Another thing is, even if the movie does debut, how would we know about it because we don't live in, like, Australia or Britain?
Yeah.
And then, the design for what K9 looks like in this movie is absolutely horrendous.
That is just... I mean, I do not like the K9 shows K9, but then...
After a while, like, it wears on you, but, like, still looks bad.
This K9, it just... That doesn't look like K9.
That looks like something else, but, like, that just looks hideous.
It looks like a tank.
Yeah. Like, Bob Baker... I think there's also another K9 television show coming. I don't know. Bob Baker tried to make a reboot of the K9 show a while ago, but that failed. I don't know if this new show is or what, because
everything he tries never seems to really come to be.
Yeah. So I don't know what this movie is, when the show is, when it's coming, or anything. But from what I hear, Bob Baker wants to turn K9 into a brand. Like, he thinks he wants
to franchise it.
Like, he wants to turn into a multi-million corporation. Gee, maybe that's not a good idea. Duh. Maybe it would have made more sense to do that literally 40 years ago when, like, he was created. But now, it just doesn't make sense.
And, like, he's grown in popularity, and making it a while ago kind of just would have been random. Because, like, he's just this character in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But now, once again, it is still random.
Yeah, it's even more random because, like, when has K9 appeared in since, like, the K9 show, besides, like, the Sarah Jane and Smith Adventures, besides that?
He never shows up in actual Doctor Who.
So, like, that doesn't make any sense. They could make, Lord forbid, another Captain Jack show or something, but, like, a Torchwood the movie, but, like, not a K9 movie. I don't know much about the plot of this movie. All I know is
I'd rather there be a Sarah Jane Smith movie.
What about an Zorbalath the movie?
That would be awesome.
Now,
I would see that movie, and at the end of it, I would just get up and leave all my garbage in the theater.
Yeah. All we really know about the plot for this movie is that K9 is journeying into deep space to, like, go up against, like, the evil Time Lord Omega. Not Omega, it's Omega. You know, dude with a bucket helmet, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, and that's really all that's known about the future.
Or that's all we could figure out.
Yeah, who knows? They could be making the movie.
We searched and we couldn't find
They
anything.
could be making this movie right now as we speak.
It could be already finished.
Or
it could coming out.
Or it could be just canned completely.
If it's maybe it just got released to DVD and there's just no way to find out because we don't live in Australia or England.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, I just don't think anyone knows, and they're not going to tell us.
Yeah.
Bob Baker.
It's not like you can send Bob Baker like a fan letter or something like, and like open up. Oh boys, I'll definitely love to give you a response right away. I definitely care about sending fan letters back to my fans. One, I am in no way, shape, or form a what's his name, Bob Baker or K9 show fan. So therefore, it would be more of a complaint letter. I do not.
Yeah.
The complaint department is closed. Good day. He would probably like say back or something.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Yes, indeed. We have with us here today K9 to say his thoughts on the K9 show. What did you think of the K9 show, K9? Well, I definitely thought it was a disgrace to my character and to my own existence. I didn't even know about the K9 show's existence until you told me about it just the other day. They don't tell me about these things anymore. Yeah. You know, you're a pretty big behemoth, like, compared to us. Your size is definitely a lot larger. Yeah, I am, pretty big. Our friends over at Doctor Who Adventures had watched the show when they were much younger, and they believed things like the monster designs were good,
Set designs
were good.
And I thought they were... I'd say most of the time they were pretty good, but I feel like they had a lot of potential that wasn't used though.
Yes.
But the design, you can make a good looking design. I'll give them that. Like some of the stuff did look good, but like, it wasn't really used that well.
Yeah. It's that thing.
Go check out Doctor Adventures. They're a cool
Yeah,
channel.
yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah. That shows everyone has their own opinion about things. Like, some people like things, some people don't. That's just the way the world's going to
And
be.
they were really little, and so they don't really remember much was happened. I suggest they rewatch it. They can form your own opinion. Don't let your opinion of the show be like crippled by ours. If you like the show, great.
Yeah.
We're just expressing our opinion by this video, but like, go check out Doctor Adventures. They're cool.
Yeah, they're nice people. Is that really it, Barry Biglet? Is that about the K9 show? Is it over?
I guess it's over finally.
So, to wrap things up, folks, I guess the K9 show is definitely a nightmare that I'm not going to forget for a long time.
And with its future in mystery, we definitely have. If they make another show or a movie and we figure out about it, you can bet we're gonna make some videos about it.
Like, what will happen in the movie? Will Marcus return? Like, to be like the secret villain? Like, or like
That the surprise villain of the show, like the K9 show villain, the
masked villain.
the masked villain, he never got revealed.
Our English teacher thinks that quite possibly they could try to pull some things out of their rears in the movie to explain things, but she says that would be a very dumb idea. It would be, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching these videos. If you haven't seen the first 3 parts, we suggest you watch those.
Yeah.
And why don't you go ahead and subscribe to our channel? If you subscribe to us, we will try to subscribe back to you. If we don't,
we're notified.
yeah, if we don't get notified, or if it doesn't come up, it doesn't tell us who subscribed to us, I'm sorry, we can't subscribe back to you because we don't know who's subscribing to us.
Yeah.
We also have another assortment of videos like YTPs, Special Wonkas, Star Wars videos. Very nice.
Cool.
So, thanks for watching. See you next time.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye.